First thing you need to do is open up DaVinci Resolve, which I'm going to do right now. Now I've got a bunch of products here, obviously, but we're going to go down to New Project in the bottom here. Click on New Project. We're going to call this one Video Basics. Go Create. So we're going to go to Edit. Now to add a clip, all you have to do is drag it into your box here, the master box here. So I'm going to get a clip and I'm going to drag this drone footage in. I'm going to select Don't Change because I shot that at 50 frames per second when this timeline is only 25 frames per second. We're just going to leave it. And I'm going to bring this into this box here. As you can see, this is very dark. I did this dark on purpose because I'm going to show you how to clean it up a little bit. And here is where the audio would be if you wanted audio. That would be here. I might actually add in a music track just for something to do. All right, so now we're going to move it to the middle here, and we're going to select the top clip because that's the one we're going to work on, and we're going to go into the color tab. Now in the color tab, it's going to look very similar to this. So over here on the left is where we're going to work at the moment. So you've got color boost, shadows down the bottom, highlights, saturation, and obviously hue and a few other things. So here, this one here, the offset controls your exposure, so we can bring that scroll to the right, you can bring it up, and you can pick certain colors you want to expose. You can change it so it looks different. So we're going to bring the exposure up a little bit. Now that's obviously very washed out, and the dial over the left here, your lift is really just your contrast. If you grab and hold the wheel and move it left, it'll darken down. And then if you go to your shadows over here at the bottom and click and move to the right, it'll bring your shadows up. A bit more contrast. And we can do a bit more saturation if we want, just to bring that out a little bit. I want to bring up that exposure a bit more to make it a bit brighter, so I'm going to bring it up a bit again. Obviously when you do this, you're going to create artifacts in your image, which I'll show you how to fix in a minute, which is like noise and grain. Grab your control and bring that down again. Now what we've done is we've brought, and we can bring the shadows up a bit more contrast, sorry. And then now we've got a much easier to look at image. But it's full of grain. If you scroll in, you can see all the grain in the image. See all this grain? And by the way, if you scroll, you just use your mouse to scroll in and out on the screen. If you press play, you can see all this grain. It's like someone's throwing rice on it. Sharpness wise, it isn't too bad. It's just a little bit, it's just very grainy. So what we're going to do is we're going to fix that now. So we're going to go back into the color tab. And we're going to, first of all, I'm going to boost the color a little bit. So I'm going to go to the color boost on the bottom left here. I'm just going to give it a bit more pizzazz. And I'm going to bring down the contrast again, just a little bit. I don't really care about the trees so much. I just want to show that they're there. I just don't want them to be black masses. We're more concerned about the footage up the top here. So if you go over to the dots here, it looks like raindrops. That's your blur and sharpen. So you click on that. And if you grab this and bring it down, it's going to sharpen. If you bring it up, it's going to blur. So you just grab the bar in the middle and bring it down a few points. As you can see, if you look at the image, if you go all the way down to 0, it's horrible. If you go all the way up, it's really blurry. So you really want to bring it down. It's 50. You want to sort of go to 48, maybe 47, but we'll leave it at 48. So you go back over to your window on this side again and you click on your motion effects tab, which is this one. Now we're going to move over to the left here where it says temporal NR, which is noise reduction. And that's all this noise and the grain in the sky. You can see it all in the still image even. So we're going to go over here to frames. I'm going to drop that down to 5. Now if your computer isn't very fast, maybe do it at 3. I'm going to leave this, I'm going to change this to better. If your computer is very slow, leave it on faster and leave this on low, but I'm going to leave this, or small, I'm going to leave this on medium. Then we're going to go to temporal threshold and I'm going to change this to somewhere between 30 and 50. The higher you go in the number, the more sharpness you'll lose. So I'm going to go with 35 and see how it looks first. And you can see, if you look up here, a lot of that noise disappeared, but it needs a bit more. So we're going to go with 45. And you can see that a lot of that's going away now. When you look down here, it's much better than it was. So we might go to 50 even. And then click off the box and you'll see it change. Then we're going to go over to spatial noise reduction, and what this does, it gets rid of all the noise that's multicolored basically. So we're just going to change that to better, change that to medium, and we're going to make this one say 4. We don't need that to do that too much. And now that that's rendered out, this is what the clip looked like before, and I'll just play it from where I cut it, roughly about there. As you can see, it's pretty dark. And this is what it looks like now. It's not perfect, it's still got a bit of grain in the foreground around the trees, but considering it was really low light, it's not a bad result. I do have another video on DaVinci Resolve that's over 2 hours long. It gives you heaps of editing tips and tricks and shows you how to do a whole bunch of stuff. Give that a look if you want, and thanks for watching.